Welcome to our Evolutionary Biology series. Today, we are diving into a fascinating and sometimes counterintuitive topic called genetic drift. While we often think of evolution as a fierce competition where only the fittest survive, nature also has a wild card. Sometimes survival and the traits passed on to the next generation are simply a matter of being in the right place at the right time. Let us explore how pure random chance can completely transform a species over time. To understand how genetic drift works, imagine you have a large jar filled with exactly 50 red marbles and 50 blue marbles. If you close your eyes and pick out 10 marbles at random to start a brand new jar, you might expect to get exactly 5 of each. But just by pure luck, you might accidentally grab 7 red and 3 blue marbles. If you repeat this process again and again, always picking from the new jar to create the next one, the ratio of colors will wander randomly. Eventually, you might end up with a jar of only red marbles. This is exactly what happens in nature with genes. Now that we have seen the marble analogy, let us define this formally. In evolutionary biology, genetic drift is the random fluctuation of allele frequencies in a population from one generation to the next. Unlike natural selection, which favors traits that provide a survival advantage, genetic drift is completely blind to how useful a trait is. It occurs because the alleles passed to offspring are merely a random sample of the parent generation. Because of this inherent sampling error, the exact proportions of alleles will inevitably shift slightly each generation. Over long periods, this random walk can lead to the complete loss of an allele, or its complete fixation, meaning it becomes the only variant present. Understanding this random wandering is absolutely crucial because it explains why populations can evolve even when there is no environmental pressure acting upon them. Genetic drift is especially important in conservation biology. When endangered species are reduced to very small population sizes, genetic drift acts incredibly fast. It can wipe out beneficial genetic diversity, making the species highly vulnerable to diseases or environmental changes. Furthermore, without understanding genetic drift, we could not accurately model how certain genetic diseases become unusually common in isolated human populations, such as the Amish. It reminds us that evolution is not always a steady march toward perfection. To understand how fast genetic drift happens, we need to measure how much the allele frequency is likely to change in a single generation. We use the mathematical concept of variance to represent this expected fluctuation, or wobble. The formula for the variance of allele frequency is derived from the binomial distribution. In this formula, sigma squared represents the variance after one generation. The variables p and q represent the current frequencies of the two alleles in the population. Finally, n represents the number of diploid individuals, meaning 2n is the total number of gene copies available. Notice that if the population size n is very large, the variance becomes very small and the frequency barely changes. Now that we have our formula, let us look at a practical example to see exactly how population size affects genetic drift. Imagine a healthy population of 1,000 cheetahs that has a specific gene for coat pattern. The frequency of the dominant allele, P, is 0.5, and the recessive allele, Q, is also 0.5. We want to calculate the expected variance. We substitute P, Q, and N into our variance equation. The numerator becomes 0.25, and the denominator becomes 2,000. Dividing these gives us a final variance of 0.000125. This extremely small number means the allele frequency is highly likely to stay very close to zero point 0.5 in the next generation. Before we move on, let us see what happens if this same species goes through a bottleneck event. Imagine the cheetah population is critically endangered, leaving only 10 individuals. The starting allele frequencies are still 0.5 for both P and Q. We do the exact same calculation, substituting n equals 10 into the denominator. The numerator is still 0.25, but the denominator is now only 20. Dividing these values gives us a final variance of 0.0125. This number represents the expected wobble in allele frequency for this tiny group of survivors. So we have calculated the variances for both populations. This brings us to a crucial mathematical proof regarding genetic instability. By comparing the two resulting variances, we can mathematically prove why small populations are much more susceptible to random genetic changes. If we take the variance of the small population, 0.0125, and divide it by the variance of the large population, 0.000125, we get exactly 100. This proves that the endangered cheetah population will experience swings in its genetic makeup that are 100 times larger, purely by chance. In the real world, this means they could easily lose crucial genetic diversity in just a few generations. This mathematical vulnerability of small populations leads us directly to another critical concept, the founder effect. Suppose a small group of birds gets blown off course by a storm and lands on an isolated island, starting a brand new population. Because this founding group is so small, their genetic makeup is just a random, limited sample of the original mainland population. In this scenario, rare traits can suddenly become the standard in the new isolated population, not because the trait is better, but simply because it got lucky in the genetic lottery. This extreme form of genetic drift often leads to what we call allele fixation, where one variant completely takes over. Now that we understand the founder effect, let us look at the mathematics of fixation. What is the probability that a specific allele will eventually become fixed, meaning it reaches a frequency of 100% and replaces all other alleles? For a strictly neutral allele, one that does not give any survival advantage or disadvantage, the mathematics of genetic drift provides a beautifully simple rule. The probability of eventual fixation, denoted as P, is simply equal to P, the initial frequency of the allele. This makes intuitive sense. If an allele makes up a certain percentage of the gene pool, it has exactly that percentage chance of eventually winning the random walk of genetic drift. Let us apply this elegant formula to a concrete example. Returning to our island birds, imagine that in this new, tiny population, a rare allele for blue feathers has a starting frequency of 0.15. What is the probability that this blue feather allele will eventually become fixed purely due to genetic drift? We state our mathematical rule and substitute our given frequency of 0.15. The final answer is 0.15. This means there is a 15% chance that the blue feather allele will eventually take over the entire island population, and an 85% chance it will be completely lost forever. To truly grasp how these probabilities play out over time, let us look at this diagram showing the random walk of alleles. On the horizontal axis, we have time, measured in generations, and on the vertical axis, we have the allele frequency, from 0 to 1. You can see several jagged lines, each representing a different population starting at a frequency of 0.5. Notice how wildly they fluctuate due to sampling error. Eventually, one line hits the top boundary at 1.0. This is allele fixation. Another line hits the bottom boundary at 0. This is allele loss. This visual perfectly captures the unpredictable, wandering nature of genetic drift. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us summarize the most important ideas. First, genetic drift is the random fluctuation of allele frequencies, driven entirely by chance sampling events. Second, it is a fundamental mechanism of evolution that operates completely independently of natural selection, proving that survival is sometimes just a matter of luck. Third, as we proved mathematically, its effects are drastically magnified in small populations. Finally, this random walk ultimately leads to the fixation or loss of traits, making the study of genetic drift absolutely essential for conserving endangered species. Great job following along. You now understand the power of random chance in evolution.